The confidence you feel when you're absolutely certain about something is a cognitive trap. That feeling of airtight, undeniable rightness is your brain's signal that it has stopped updating its map of the world. By the end of this, you'll understand the mental operating system used by the world's most adaptive people, a mindset that feels like a paradox. And you need to understand it now, because the complexity of the world is increasing and the cost of being wrong is getting steeper every single day. Your brain loves a strong opinion. It's efficient. Thinking is metabolically expensive, burning more calories by weight than almost any other activity. Uncertainty, ambiguity, and complex analysis require a massive amount of energy. A settled belief, on the other hand, is a paved neural superhighway. It's a shortcut that saves fuel. When you land on a conclusion, your brain gives you a little hit of rewarding neurochemicals. Certainty feels good. It feels safe. This is why changing your mind can feel so deeply uncomfortable, like a personal failure. Your biology is literally programmed to prefer the low-energy comfort of a conclusion you've already reached. It's a survival mechanism, designed for a simpler world where the rules changed, slowly. The problem is, our world moves faster than our hardware. The very mechanism designed to make us efficient is the same one that gets us stuck. This creates a critical vulnerability. What happens when the path you've paved so beautifully leads directly off a cliff? That cliff is where the second half of the phrase comes in, loosely held. This is the active, conscious override of that biological comfort. It's the decision to treat your beliefs as tools, not as parts of your identity. Think of it like this. Most people build their identity out of their opinions. Their beliefs about politics, work, and life are load-bearing walls in their mental house. If you challenge one of those beliefs, you're threatening the entire structure. The response is defensive, emotional, and protective. An adaptive person does something different. Their opinions are kept in a toolbox. A hammer is a great tool, but if you need to turn a bolt, you put the hammer down and pick up a wrench. There's no ego involved. You don't get mad at the hammer for being a bad wrench, you just use the right tool for the job. When your identity is the toolbox itself, your ability to think, learn, and adapt, then any single tool can be discarded without a crisis. The goal is to build something true, and you need the right tools for that. But our brains fight this process with a powerful psychological bias that makes letting go of a bad idea feel like losing a part of ourselves. This bias is called the endowment effect. In economics, it describes how we place a higher value on things simply because we own them. People will demand a higher price to sell a coffee mug they were given than they would be willing to pay to acquire the same mug. Ownership creates an irrational attachment. This effect is even stronger for our ideas. When you invest time and energy into forming an opinion, it becomes your opinion. You own it, and because you own it, you subconsciously inflate its value. Any evidence that contradicts your opinion is perceived as a threat to your property, and even worse, a threat to your judgment. It implies the original investment of your time and ego was a bad one. This is why people will double down on a bad decision. The investor holding a failing stock all the way to zero is a classic example. They are defending their original idea, their past self's judgment, at the expense of their future wealth. The idea becomes fused with their identity as a good investor. Letting the stock go means admitting the idea was wrong, which feels like admitting they are a failure. So they hold on, protecting their ego while their portfolio burns. This is the engine of stagnation. But there is a way to systematically break this fusion using a single, deceptively simple question. The question is, what information would it take to change my mind? You ask this question of yourself, ideally before you even need to. By defining the conditions for your belief to be falsified in advance, you change the entire dynamic. It shifts the process from an emotional defense of your ego to a logical search for specific data. It's a pre-commitment to intellectual honesty. This is the very definition of a strong opinion. A truly strong opinion is one that is well-reasoned, evidence-based, and crucially testable. You can state clearly why you believe it, and you can also state clearly what would prove you wrong. A weak opinion, by contrast, is defended with emotion, vague feelings, or by attacking the person who disagrees. A person with weak opinions held tightly is the most rigid person in the room. A person with strong opinions, held loosely, is the most adaptable. They have a clear model of how the world works right now, but that model comes with a built-in kill switch. It has an expiration date. When new data arrives that meets the predefined conditions, the old model is discarded. This is the core of scientific thinking. A good scientist has a powerful hypothesis and works relentlessly to test it. They're trying to prove it, but they're also trying to break it. Their loyalty is to the truth, a destination they can only reach by being ruthlessly honest about when their map is wrong. This creates a strange and powerful side effect. People who operate this way often seem far more confident than those who are rigidly certain. This is the central paradox. The confidence of the person with rigid beliefs is rooted in their current conclusion. I am confident because I am right. This confidence is incredibly brittle. A single undeniable piece of contradictory evidence can shatter their entire worldview because it invalidates the source of their confidence. The result is often anger, denial, or a retreat into conspiracy. They protect the belief instead of updating it. The confidence of an adaptive person is rooted in their process. I am confident because my system for updating my beliefs is robust. Contradictory evidence is an opportunity, a welcome gift. It's new data that allows them to refine their map and get closer to reality. It's a source of strength. Their ego is invested in their ability to course correct, their ability to be less wrong tomorrow than they are today. This is why they can argue a point with immense conviction in the morning, and, if presented with powerful new information, argue the opposite point with equal conviction in the afternoon. To an outsider, it can look inconsistent. To the practitioner, it's just the sound of learning happening in real time. Their loyalty is to the mapmaker, the learning machine inside them. This distinction is critical in high-stakes environments. When a pilot faces an unforeseen emergency, their rigid adherence to a standard procedure might be fatal if the situation falls outside the checklist. The legendary pilot Chesley Sullenberger, landing on the Hudson River, had to abandon his mental models of a normal engine failure. He instantly updated his understanding based on new data, the plane's altitude, speed, and lack of thrust, and adopted a new radical conclusion. He had a strong opinion about how to fly a plane, but he held it loosely enough to discard it when reality changed. His confidence was in his ability to adapt. That's the difference between a minor incident and a catastrophe. The ultimate goal of this mindset is to get it right in the end. This almost always requires being wrong, sometimes repeatedly along the way. Each discarded opinion is a step forward. It's a dead end you no longer have to explore. It's progress. Strong opinions, loosely held, is a system for being wrong faster, for accelerating your own evolution. It's about cultivating an aggressive curiosity about where your own blind spots are. You start searching for disconfirming evidence with the same energy you once used to search for confirming evidence. The most profound freedom is the ability to cheerfully destroy your own most cherished ideas. It is the only way to ensure that you are growing beyond the person you used to be. Your identity shifts. It ceases to be the sum of your current beliefs. Your identity becomes the process itself, a curious, resilient, updating machine. The opinions are just temporary printouts from that machine. So, look at the beliefs you defend most fiercely, the ones that feel like a part of you. Ask yourself, what would it take to change my mind? If you can't answer that question, the belief owns you. And this ability to separate the creator from the creation, the thinker from the thought, is exactly what explains the counterintuitive behavior of the world's most innovative artists. They are often the first to advocate for destroying their own work. That is a different kind of uncomfortable.